Hello. So I am going to elaborate on my just start moment. And I don't really have much of a structure. I'm just going to talk out loud and kind of move through the three prompt questions. But the just start moment that really popped into my head was this time where I was just a little bit of context. I was unemployed and just moving through what I really wanted to do in life. I was in my mid 20s at the time. Um, and so what I basically conceived at the time was I come from like a journalism background. That's what I went to school for. So there's always been this like instinctual, like investigative or just ability to connect with people and have conversations with people or just sit down and just ask questions that kind of take you into a deep conversation. And obviously I know now there are podcasts and all these platforms that allow you to do that. But at the time, I didn't really see for myself that ability to connect. Um, or I didn't really expose myself that much to that. So I kind of wanted to do something in more of an intimate setting and just more so among friends and starting off with just friends that are, you know, they have different kind of like industries that they're in or just different insights that they can add both on a professional and personal aspect to it. And what I was really interested in just grasping from all that is just the story behind the struggle. So, at the time I had a neighbor across the apartment that I lived at, and she was very, she had started a lot of different businesses and ventures. So I really sourced her to kind of help me map out this idea that I had in my head, but I really had no idea on how to even start or get involved or whatever. So she really helped me in like outlining like little baby steps that I can do. And that just start moment for me was just like writing down everything that I wanted this to encapsulate. And so what I ended up titling it was, Do You See This? And the acronym was like DIST or something, DYST. And what I would do essentially was just go to my different friends, and I had like a deck of just questions that I would ask them and just kind of see where the conversation went. And I would record our conversation and then just post it up somewhere, kind of like a blog post, and just see where it went. So I ended up buying like a web domain for it and just kind of taking more of those actionable steps to like manifest this thought. But I just remember the experience of it all was the initial like, okay, I'm really doing this. I'm really writing this out. And then the creative flow that came with it. I mean, I found myself sometimes waking up in the middle of the night or having to sleep with like a little book by my, like on my bedstand, because I would have, whether it was in the form of a dream or just kind of just this idea that shot in my head in the middle of the night, I had somewhere to kind of jot it down. So it really opened up this like creative vein for me at the time. And at the time, again, where I was unemployed, so I kind of needed to have a way to exert that kind of energy in me. So, and then through that, I started actually reaching out to friends and saying, hey, can we sit down and just have this conversation? I'm just going to record it. I don't know really what I'm going to do with it. I just, I feel like you have some real insights or things that you can share. And I think people will actually resonate with it. And what came of that was I had a lot of friends just being so supportive of it, or just people like understanding the idea or the concept and really being supportive about it. So that became a great experience and outcome through the whole thing. And then the third prompt is like, what is the lesson or tip or slogan that I would share with my peers? And I think it's like the full circle where it's like just starting, the importance of just taking that first step, because I think what hinders us from taking that first step sometimes is like, how do we get from like the point A to the point B, right? And not really knowing what that roadmap looks like. And because we don't know the roadmap or don't have any clarity behind it, we don't even take the first step, because we want to know like A, B, C, D, and what is it going to take to do this and do that? And honestly, we just have to go for it. And as you go for it, either you make it up as it comes, or you really see yourself blossoming into solving that issue or solving that creative anything that you want to incorporate. And so I really saw myself doing that through that whole little period of time that I tried doing this thing, this little platform of connecting with my friends and just having these deep, meaningful conversations and posting them somewhere. But I would definitely just share with all my peers that we don't need to have the roadmap laid out from the beginning. A lot of the roadmap and the blueprint is created through the process. And I think we hear that time and time again through the leaders that we're inspired by or aspire to be, is that a lot of them talk about that it was the journey in itself that they learned a lot of their more fundamental skill sets of anything that they've gotten into or their ventures. So that is my just start moment. And yeah, thank you for listening.